Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's the Funnel Doctor. Hope everyone is having an amazing evening. We got a very, very special conversation coming for you. Waiting for our esteemed guest to get on. Do me a favor. If you once you join, put your name, your business name, where you tuning in from. If you're not familiar with me, I am Ryan McCrary, also known as the Funnel Doctor. We help creative entrepreneurs grow and scale online using sales funnels and paid advertising. See some folks already joining. We got a very important conversation coming today. So do me a favor, share this out, put this in your story, put in someone's DM, tag some other folks that need to be here. It's for all entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs, we always running, hustling, a million things going on. But a lot of the time, we do not prioritize our health the way that we should. So if that's you, drop a comment, let us know. Natalie, what's going on? How you doing? Make sure you hit me back. We got a lot to talk about. Shout out to Chicago in the building. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on as well. But make sure you hit me back whenever you get a chance so we can get this party started. Okay, I think Dr. Nuss is about to join, so I'll add her in 1 second. But again, do me a favor, y'all. Share this out, tag some folks, put it in your story, drop it in someone's DM. Again, we're going to have a really, really great conversation about health, how to prioritize your health, how to, make sure you're doing the right things on a daily basis. She is also a chiropractor, so we'll talk about that and how to, make sure you prioritize that as well, because that's something that not enough people talk about. But let's get this party started. All right, let's see. Sending the request. There we go. How you doing, Dr. Venessa?
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for jumping on. I know you're very, very busy, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but thank you so much for just jumping on.
Thanks for having me this evening. I look forward to the conversation because our health is our wealth.
Yes, you already know. We gonna actually break down like what does that exactly mean? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people talk about that, like, but like exactly like what does that mean? But before we get started, now I'm gonna tell y'all, she's a very smart person. She has a lot going on. She has a lot of gems to share, and she's very humble about it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna be real. But for people that do not know who you are, if they've been hiding under a rock, or you just not letting all your zone of genius get out to the masses like you should, please let people know who you are, what you do, and so forth.
Okay, who I am. Other than Venessa? Oh no. Affectionately called Dr. V. So Dr. Venessa Walker, I'm a chiropractic physician. I've been a chiropractor for a lot of those years. I think 15 or 16 years. But been in the field for about 20 plus. I started as a chiropractic assistant and then from there matriculate on to being a chiropractor. So what I love about what I do is the essence of helping people. It's one of the reasons I got into what I'm doing currently. So I love all things chiropractic. I love helping folks. I love seeing people grow in business and in health. So as a chiropractic physician, I get to do that in various capacities through my profession. So that's Dr. Walker.
Okay. I love that, Dr. Walker. So I do want to take it back a little bit. So, what made you want to become a doctor, then, of course, a chiropractor?
Oh.
Is that something that you always wanted to do growing up? Is something you kind of fell into? Some people are like, oh, I always wanted to be a doctor, and I actually, became a doctor. So I'm definitely curious on that. Was it like your parents? Was it just something that you, always passionate about? How did that come about?
I mean, outside of being in a Caribbean household, I was born in Jamaica, and there's only a couple things that we can be. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be an engineer. No. So my mom was a registered nurse, and with her being a registered nurse, I saw the love of helping people. My dad's a pastor, just that service capacity. So stemming from my mom, she said I would always just help her, always helping her. And from knowing of her healthcare background, I decided I wanted to be a doctor. So so my story is, as a little girl, I wanted to be a doctor, and now it has come to full fruition. But it was as a little girl. I didn't know the type of doctor I wanted to be until I got to high school. And in high school, I knew I wanted to be a sports physician, but just didn't know the process of becoming a sports physician. So I took a class at University of South Florida, Go Bulls in Tampa. I know most people don't know about South Florida Bulls, but put them on the map tonight. Nah. So I took a class called University Experience, and in taking that class called University Experience, I looked in the yellow pages. I don't know if everybody know what that is, but went through the yellow pages. Right now it's
Old
Google
school.
or however,
Right,
MapQuest, whatever it may be.
right.
So went through the yellow pages, found a doctor, and it just said sports physician. So I went to his office, shadowed him for a while, and in that afternoon he was like, he's a chiropractor, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what it is, but all right, cool, like good. So did that, shadowed him for a bit, and in shadowing him, he just seemed chilled. Like, he loved what he was doing. He was so ecstatic to like answer my questions in between the patients. It was just like, he's chilling. So anyways, once I was finished with that opportunity, I sent him a thank you note. And I was 17 at the time. He offered me a job, and I worked for him all my 4 years of undergrad. And I kind of said chiropractic found me.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. And as you know, it's a lot of people out there like health is wealth. It's kind of like a buzzword and people always talking about it, so can you break down like what exactly that means or your definition of it? Because you hear that a lot, even, when someone may not even practice it, they just say it.
No, absolutely. I think it's simply said, though, like our health is our wealth. We can desire to have, money, fame, whatever it may be. But if you don't have your health, you have none of that. Not a dollar you can spend if you don't have the functioning of your system. So your health is your wealth. The health come before the capacity of wealth. You can build, but if you're building and you're building these dollars and you don't get to live a life that you can, in good health, get to do things, get to travel, get to live, get to experience, then it's all for what? So just as plain as said, is health. We have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, and that, that's mind, body, and spirit. We got to make sure that we're taking care of the one system. I always say, it's a lot of things that come and go, but one thing that if it's gone, it's gone. And that's just us as a being, right? So we got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. And let's break that down, because I know a lot of people, they look at being healthy or living a healthy lifestyle like many different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be, okay, well, I'm going to live a healthy lifestyle, so I'm going to become a vegan. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to exercise at least 5 times a week or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Can you break down just a little bit of like, in your definition, like what is a true healthy lifestyle, from what you eat, meal plan, what time you should eat, what you should eat, how often you should exercise, drinking water or other stuff? Like, can you break that down a little bit? I know you
Yeah,
have
so you're
supplements
saying
as well.
go ahead. You said that last piece.
And I know you have supplements as well that people can get a hold of.
Okay, so you're saying a combination of a few things, but one thing we want to make sure we got to get rest, right? If you're not resting, your cells are regenerating effectively. So you want to make sure that you're getting rest. You want to take care of your body. You want to put your body through rest. Our body should be in motion. It should be in motion, and hence the reason of exercising. So you might want to put, different form of exercise happen in different seasons in our life, but we want to make sure our body is always in motion. Sometimes I simplify it to the sense of like, find out what's your best song, and if you want to go hard on your best song for 3 rounds, that's like 15 minutes. We call that burst training. If you want to go hard on that song for 3 minutes, go for that. That 5-minute song 3 times around, you effectively have some kind of workout that's happening. But you want to make sure that your body is in motion. So that's that general underline. You want to make sure that your body's receiving sunlight, right? That's our natural vitamin D. We hear that African Americans are the most deficient in vitamin D. We want to make sure we're getting vitamin D to boost our immune system. So I'm just sharing one supplement, but you want to make sure that your body's on good supplementation. So you're getting your sleep, you're active, you are making sure that you're taking in water. You want to make sure you're replenishing your system. And as entrepreneurs, we got to decrease stress. We got to find the balance of, if it's meditation, if it's prayer, you want to make sure that you're living that balanced space where you just take some time for yourself. How do you decompress? How do you make sure that you just got to chill sometimes, and finding the way to implement that on an ongoing basis?
Yeah, I like that. And especially us as entrepreneurs, like we always running it's a million things going on. Like generally,
Yes.
we
And
don't have
all the
the
million things are
right,
important. Not one of them is not important.
right,
Everything
right,
is
right,
important. And
right,
the to-do list, if it does not get done today, we're like, ooh, when? The to-do list has to get done.
right.
So it's trying to make sure that those things are balanced, right? You know, it's a balanced diet with supplementation. It's increasing your water. If you're not doing any now, I say just add 8 ounces. And after that, add 8 ounces. But you want to make sure that you're doing at least half your body weight in ounces. But start somewhere. Our water is the greatest percentage of our body. So we want to make sure that we're replenishing our system by continuously doing that.
Yeah, I like that. And you know, as entrepreneurs, like most of the time, we don't have like a set schedule. You know, where it's like 9 to 5. I can get off work. I can go work out. You know, when I get off work, you know, I wake up the same time every day and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I know, like even me personally, a lot of times it's hard because, like I said, it's a million things going on, a million things that we got to do, and a lot of times, you know, we don't prioritize our health like we should. You know, because we always ripping and running and trying to get the money.
Yes, and maintenance is a good thing, right? So one of the things I didn't share, but getting regular checkups, right? So not missing our yearly checkups in every avenue that should happen. And if you get to a year stage that it's recommended that you should be getting a specific checkup, get it done, right? So just making sure that we're following through on the one good body that we have, making sure that we're doing preventative measures than reactive measure, right? So preventative is, doc, something happened. Now, can you help me take care of it? I'm sorry, reactive measure is something happened. Can you help me take care of it? Because we never realize anything is happening until we're in pain, right? And pain is an indicator that something's going on and probably root cause deeper than what we superficially know. So making sure that we're getting regular checkups so that we can be preventative than reactive. With reactions, obviously there's a lot of technology and so on and so forth in order to, decrease inflammation in a certain time. But you want to make sure that you're taking the proper steps to be preventative than reactive. When patients come into our office, we're like, I know, right? You always want to nail me down when something's wrong. But when it's the regular routine, making sure you're taking care of yourself, so regular checkups.
Definitely. Make sure
Including
y'all
your
get
chiropractic care.
right. We'll talk about that. So make sure y'all getting y'all regular checkups. Definitely don't miss that. Especially us as African Americans, it's extremely important. And Black men, a lot of people say, "Oh, Black men don't go to the doctor as much as they should," stuff like that. So we definitely got to make sure we're getting these checkups. So yeah, let's talk about chiropractic. What is that exactly? Like, I'm still kind of confused on, to be honest. Like, what exactly does
Let's
that
talk
mean?
then.
How, like, should I, if I don't have pain, should I still come and get checked? Like, what all, can you break all that down?
Absolutely. So as you just talked about pain is the indicator that everybody is saying, everyone is saying that, hey, if that's happened, then I should. But I know you don't say, wait till you got a toothache before you go to your dentist.
True.
You make sure that your tooth is always on point. And I mean, your teeth is always on point. And then beyond that, outside of, you don't wait until you have bad breath. You be like, oh, I should brush it today.
Right.
No. So
Right.
same thing with chiropractic. You want to make sure that you're taking care of your spine. You have one spine. You want to make sure that you're taking care of it. So the thing that gets confusing at times in regards to chiropractors is that when you hear about chiropractic care, you think, oh, if I don't have low back pain or neck pain, why do I need to go? Right? A part of what we do is about good posture, making sure you're having good posture, making sure that your spine is aligned. But the number of things that we funnel that through is thoughts, trauma, and toxin. What does that mean? Thoughts, right? Stressors of life allow for thoughts to increase the change in hormones. Things get out of balance. We as chiropractors, let's look to decrease that inflammation and also adjust the area to decrease that disease. So thoughts, trauma, sports injury, motor vehicle accident, things that are micro trauma and macro trauma. So the micro trauma that happens with men all the time, and probably happened with you, is that when you're a teenager, did somebody give you a wallet?
Somebody, yeah.
Yeah, you have a wallet.
Yeah.
And where do you keep your wallet now?
In the pocket.
In where?
In my pocket.
In your back pocket.
Yeah.
Right? And over the years, that wad of money got bigger, or them credit cards got thicker. And then what you did
Yeah.
in turn, rather than sitting on your pelvis like this, you start to shift it as soon as that money got more and you tilt the pelvis. So what happens with that is for most males, they have this happening in their pelvis, misalignment of their pelvis.
Wow.
And that's starting from the teenage years, right? Micro trauma over a long period of time. And then you get to year 40 and you're like, oh, my back hurt. You've been doing all this time.
Yeah.
You get more money, you get additional credit cards, and you just keep on going imbalance, 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 imbalance. And then that caused dis-ease in the low back. You need to see a chiropractor. So all the guys out there, take the wallet out of your back pocket, put it in the front pocket. You only need 1 or 2 credit cards in there anyways. And if you big money, keep that on your Apple Pay now, right? So for women, what we typically do is that we got to have the cutest handbag. And sometimes it's the biggest one. So we do this lopsided thing that's happening. Maybe it's carrying the baby, maybe it's breastfeeding, maybe, so one-sided thing that's happening for a long period of time. Micro trauma over a long period of time. And then you can have that in various professions, hand over head, cosmetologist, just various ways that it comes along that you're getting micro trauma. Long period of time turns sometimes into a macro trauma, but the repetitive happenings cause for chiropractic care. So that's trauma. And then toxin, things we put in our body, things we have around the environment, changes the capacity of, as I said before, hormones. So ligament, tendons, tissue start to change. Vertebrae is misaligned. As a chiropractor, we come in to align the vertebrae.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yo,
we
that's a
see
lot.
from neonate in our office to geriatric. And sometimes they say, you see babies in the office? Absolutely. We see babies in the office.
Oh, so is that aligned with like scoliosis? Like I remember when I was younger, like they used to like check our back for that stuff. Like, is
So
that
that's
aligned with that?
structural, right? So that's a structural change. And yes, scoliosis is a part of. Now, scoliosis can, go from different ranges of how that needs to be taken care of. And the minimal level, yes, chiropractic care, it may get to an extreme level. There's intensive training behind that, that there's intensive training through chiropractic and also physical therapy that work together because it's a structural change. So now we have real heavy changing that we're looking to make in the spine.
Mm. And if someone, is interested and they want to come get checked out, I know you are in South Florida. Of course, how can they do that? Where's the office?
They can
What's the
fly
website?
to see the best, or they can drive to see the best.
Right.
Nah. So yeah, we're in South Florida, and it's Miramar, Florida. So it's 8844 Miramar Parkway. And we're this side. But outside of that, there is a Black American Chiropractic Association, and they can Google that and find plenty of chiropractors all across the United States. We're actually having a convention down here in June. But yeah, so if they're not in the South Florida area, there are chiropractors all over the state of Florida. And there is a Black Chiropractic Association website that they can go to and find someone in their surrounding area.
Yeah, that's dope. I definitely think you got to create more content and get it out there more because I still don't see a lot of people talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? How important it is and preventive care. Like you said, if someone my back hurts, now I want to get care, but I don't really hear many people at all talk about preventive care.
Yes, and preventive is the way to go. And beyond that, as you say, many people don't talk about 80% of Americans have back pain, right? So started from something. It's either the thoughts to trauma or the toxin, micro trauma or macro trauma. But it's not just the flow of pain. We want to make sure that you're living optimal health and that your spine is the fluid or the gateway through that.
Wow, I love that. And also let people know about the supplements that you offer, what you
Yes.
offer, and how they can get there.
Yes. So My Whole Body, that's a supplement line, and it's myholbody.com. Vitamin D and collagen is our number two. Our 1 or 2 supplements that we do share. So as I shared before about vitamin D, we want to make sure that we are supplemented with our vitamin D. Ours, I believe, is special because it's just a little old mint, right? You just pop it in your mouth. It's kind of like you're not even taking anything, or you just got a mint in your mouth. And then beyond that, collagen. I call collagen the WD-40 for your joint. Everybody should be on collagen every single day.
I'm on it too now. I'm on it now.
Good. Nails will start to grow, skin will start to glowing, lubricating the joints. So you just want to make sure that you're taking good supplementation. And as you said before, Why supplementation? Because you want to make sure that you're assisting the body in the things that it's doing.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So I know we've got a few more minutes, but I would like you to share some business tips, and secrets for those that don't know. She runs a very, very successful business. One of the few businesses that get to seven figures annually, so we definitely want to celebrate that. We'll celebrate yourself. I know you're very humble about it, but for those people that, either just starting out or got to six figures but have trouble getting to seven figures, what different tips and strategies would you have as a seven-figure business owner, knowing that most people do not get there?
Strategy, team, organization. So having a vision and making sure that you're executing the vision effectively, mentorship, right? Seek folks that have been on the path so that you can decrease the errors that you have on the path. And even when you think you're at a space where you're continuing to grow, get mentorship, get guidance. I have a lot of people around me that push me along to make sure. Sometimes I always say when you're in the picture, when you're in the picture frame, most times you don't get to see the picture.
Dang.
Right?
I like that. Yeah.
So you want someone who's on the outside who can look in to say, hey, this needs to be added. Take away from this. I've done this way. Adhere to this so you can move along. Be accountable to someone, right? If you're not accountable to someone, then you may not know the direction. And don't think you know it all. Like, get help. Talk to folks. Be amongst those who can help. And in that process, also extend back. So as you're growing, make sure that you're reaching back because it also strengthens what you've learned previously. So yeah, so I would say team, strategy, making sure that you're effectively doing and having guidance and mentorship. One of the reasons why I have healthcare mavens in business.
You can talk about that, but everybody on the live, let us know if that was helpful. Also, let me know where you at revenue wise. You're under six figures, drop that, no shame in that. We all started from somewhere. If you at six figures and you trying to get to multiple six, you haven't touched seven figures yet, let us know. But what you shared was definitely just some game. So make sure I got my pen here. I only make sure you got yours and you taking notes. And definitely talk about healthcare mavens in business. Somebody said when you're in the picture frame, most times you can't see the picture. Dr. V.
Yeah, that's Blair. Blair just gave me a new car, so yeah. So listen, Blair just gave me a new car.
I love it. But yeah, definitely break down, your program, healthcare mavens in business, and those that are in healthcare and want to get on your level. How can they be a part of it?
So I don't know if it's a get on your level, but definitely guidance. Mentorship I think it's key. I think it allows for us to accelerate a whole lot faster in certain areas. As I talked about guidance before, accountability, when you are around like a pack, when like a mastermind, you got a pack of people that you can bounce ideas from. You can they can see what your picture look like because you're in the frame. You can have communication. It gives you a faster acceleration of growth. As entrepreneur, sometimes there's tough times. There's some times where you think, I switch from one to the next and I'm working all the time or I'm doing all the time. But because you have a big vision, you want to be able to stay in line and you want guidance, you want mentorship, as I said before. So that's the premise of healthcare mavens in business, so that you can move as a pack and move faster. You can accelerate. So the errors that I've made, the mentorship that I've gotten, and it's not just guided just in healthcare, because I think what happens with just the premise of healthcare, that we work, we so on and so forth, and sometimes it turns into a rat race. But how do we build wealth in that, right? How do we know what is happening in the stock market? How do we know what's happening in real estate? How do we diversify our portfolio? And outside of that, how do we make sure we sustain ourselves for legacy? I saw a friend of mine on here, Monique, who is an estate guru, and if you don't have a trust will and those other things to make sure that your assets are well taken care of, then so it's all of that. It's all those things. It's beyond get the dollars. You get the dollars. What do you do with it thereafter?
I love it. If anybody got any questions, feel free to drop it down. But any other last words, last tips for the people? You gave people a lot of nuggets today. Anything else, y'all got to pay. Don't try to DM her asking no more questions. She's going to send you a link. She's going to send you a Stripe invoice. And, go from there.
Get my funnels together, and then we can do all of that.
Yeah, it's coming. You know it's coming. Stop playing.
That's right. That's right. And I know Ryan probably didn't say much, but he's the funnel doctor. Make sure all my funnels are good, because marketing is a big part of what we do. And if the world don't know about what I do, then I got the hidden best secret. And I'm not trying to be a secret, right? I'm not trying to be a secret. I'm not trying to keep secrets. I think when I grow, others grow, and that's a blessing of passing along. So you said any last words? I want to encourage, as the journey of entrepreneurship and talking about our health is our wealth, put your health first, right? And with your health being first, right? I think it's Deion Sanders that said that when you look good, you feel good, you do good.
Yeah.
When you want to look good, you got to go exercise. You got to go drink the water. You got to be, making sure that you're getting rest, decrease that stress management. You want to walk with a pep in your step. That's when you look good, you feel good, you do good, and then you get to do more. So just in that same, you want to make sure that you're putting your health, take time for yourself. It doesn't have to be, I got to take 3 days and shut down, right? I got to take 30 minutes. I'm meditating, I'm praying, I'm making sure that I'm balancing my life. And then even beyond that, we talked about eating, making sure that you're eating a balanced meal. Know what that is for you. You're right. You talked about some people being vegan, pescatarian. Yeah. So, I'm Jamaican. I've got to eat jerk chicken. So, right. So whatever works for you, but make sure that you're balancing that effectively, and make sure you're considering what you're putting in your mouth before you put in your body. Right. So I always say the simple thing of when it comes to what you're eating, one, make sure you can say verbally what you're eating, right? So it's not like the alphabet. And when I say the alphabet, you take some boxes and you can't read what's on the back of it.
Right.
So be mindful of that, because those things, preservatives in your system, build over a long period of time, right? So you want to make sure that your body is in the flow of what we call alkaline rather than acidic. And it's just those process of things. So just putting your health first, making the conscious decision to put your health first so that you can build wealth. Right. And in building the wealth, making sure that you are enjoying in the now season, right? Live now, not later. Live now. I want that to soak in a little bit. Live now. So if it's the mini vacation, if it's the activities with your family, live now. And then the legacy portion is making sure that your assets in place, making sure that you have some way of diversifying your portfolio. You have some way of, on the small scale, because sometimes we think to ourselves like, well, I'm not a 6-figure business. I'm not a 7-figure business. I can't do this. Start where you can. Where you can. I know the book Profit First talks about in the business sense, but I think you are your individual business. Even if you're at a 9-to-5, you're an asset to someone. So you can be an entrepreneur, or you can be an intrapreneur or entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, you need to be an asset to the place that you're the entrepreneur at. And in that, even so with that 9-to-5, 10-to-2, whatever those hours are, make sure that you consider yourself as the Profit First book. You're making sure that you're delineating your dollars to best set you up for the future. So sometimes we hear certain things and we like, oh, it's just the entrepreneur, but I'm the business. It's me. I'm the business. I'm the asset to the location. I am the business. If I break that down for myself, I'm making sure that I'm saving. I'm making sure I'm putting away for my taxes. I'm making sure that I do have a profit for myself. And when I do have that profit, how do I give that back, right? How do I make sure I diversify that? Is it stocks? Is it real estate? Is it, what does that look like for me? And if it's none of those things, how do I make sure? And then also implementing having passive income. Okay, I think I'm talking too much.
No, you good. Keep going. Why you stop? Like, you preaching. I'm ready for the collection plate.
I need to breathe. But yeah, so just making sure that all of that is balanced, and it takes time. I'm just fluidly saying it right now, but it took a long time. I know I look, but
You're
I'm not
25.
old. I'm not old at
No, you're
all.
not
Right. I'm
old,
not
but
old at all.
when you said you've been in
But
the
it definitely took time. It wasn't like, pop over a period of time, but it took a period of time. And that's why I say mentorship and guidance is because I have great mentor. It's because I have great mentors. As I talked about the chiropractic physician that, I went into his office. To this day, he's a mentor of mine. And because of him, I have accelerated in chiropractic. I mean, like lightning speed because of him. So it's making sure that you're nurturing the relationships that you have in your life, that's been in your life for a reason. Yeah, making sure that you have guidance.
I love that. Listen, you dropping nuggets, you preaching, like I love it for real. So if y'all got value out of this conversation, do me a favor, drop something down, drop an emoji, drop a gem. I loved it. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you are very busy. I know you have a lot going on, in the business, growing a massive company, doing great work, keeping yourself healthy as well. So I
Yeah.
definitely just appreciate you coming on and sharing this because I know you're busy. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course, everyone. Yeah, if y'all need anything else, make sure you DM
Oh,
her.
let me.
Go to the location. If you're in South Florida or you want to fly or drive in, make sure you hit the office. Schedule your appointment. She also has supplements, My Whole Body. But yeah, anything you need in the wealth space, chiropractic space, nobody else I'll recommend except Dr. B. For real. All right, so yeah, I think that's it. Again, thank you so much. We definitely
You're
gonna have to do
welcome.
this again, and just have a great evening.
You too.